Yo, what's going on, guys? GZTV back with another video, and Lollapalooza lineups just came out. I'm not going to react to those just yet. I've kind of seen it already, but I will give you guys a review. I think last year's was better, but this year there's definitely a lot to look forward to. But anyways, today we're going to talk about some NBA stuff. We're just going to go through the games really quickly. Celtics Thunder. Tatum scores 36. Celtics roll past Oklahoma City by 9. We only beat them by 9, which is kind of weird. They came back a little bit. Grant Williams had 20 and 10. Tatum had 36. Jaylen Brown had 25. With guys playing like that, I don't know if we can lose. But looking at the Thunder side, Darius Bazley did have 22 and 10. Gilgeous-Alexander, Shea, of course, 31. But Trey Mann, 35. Great game for Trey Mann. Let's just move on to Pelicans Hornets again. I can't waste too much time here. Hornets defeat the Pelicans by 3 for their 5th straight victory. Big wins for Charlotte. They're moving over the 500 hump and hopefully becoming comfortable with a winning season. Valanciunas, great game for my fantasy squad, 24 and 18. And CJ McCollum put up 27. They lost. Devontae Graham had a slow night. Let's move on to the Hornets. Hornets didn't do anything too well. I think their best player was Mason Plumlee tonight. He put up 11 and 10. There was other guys that obviously scored more and stuff, but nobody had a great game. It was just really good teamwork, and that's going to get these guys some wins for the future. Sorry if I'm going fast. It's kind of my pacing. Lakers and Cavs. Home Cook and LeBron leads the Lakers over Cavs. In Ohio return, he dunks on his former teammate Kevin Love. Nothing personal, though. LeBron still wants to go to your wedding, Kevin. Just remember that. But I should have put this in the headline because Russell Westbrook is still improving. The Lakers, they have a big spotlight on them right now. They're playing some decent basketball, like 38, 12, and 11 for LeBron. My goodness, that's more than decent. Russell Westbrook had 20 and 11, 20 for TJ Augustin out of nowhere. He didn't miss a single shot the entire game. Shout out to DJ Augustin for playing lights out last night. Blazers Pistons, because I am reporting to you guys from the next day of this action. Williams and McLemore lead the shorthanded Blazers past the Pistons. I'm not going to lie, Portland has impressively been winning games with their roster. Williams had 23, 21 for McLemore. Ben McLemore has always been known as a really good three-point shooter. He came from the Rockets. But looking at the other side here, Sadiq Bey had 25, 25 for Cade. That's about it. Obviously, a team that's eliminated. I don't know if the Trailblazers have a chance of making the plan either, but yeah. Heat and Sixers, this was a tight matchup. Embiid was hurt and they still won. Maxey scores 28 as the Sixers without Harden and Embiid beat the Heat. That's big time. They beat the Heat's full lineup without their all-star tandem Harden and Embiid. Heat still didn't play that bad. Jimmy Butler had 27, 22 for Adebayo, 20 for Lowry. PJ Tucker didn't score that much, but that's kind of normal. Tyler Hero was also kind of slow. He only had 10 points, one of his worst games in a while. But looking at the Sixers here, yeah, Tyrese Maxey was his show, 28 points, but don't forget Shake Milton came off the bench and put up 20. Shake Milton was really good last year. And with Embiid and Harden hurt, he kind of has more of a scoring opportunity that night, so he put up 20. He's a pretty damn good player. But we have how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more games to talk about. It's going to be pretty quick. Jazz and Nets. Durant has 37. Nets beat the Jazz by 8 to extend a good stretch. So Nets are doing pretty well. Their goal is definitely to make it out of the play-in. With their roster, they definitely probably should. They should just let Kyrie play, too. That's another problem. Jazz didn't play super well. You had Donovan Mitchell coming out and putting up 30, but Royce O'Neal definitely needs to be more productive for the starters. I know he's more of a rebounder defense type of guy, but still. For the Nets, though, 37 for KD, 22 for Bruce Brown. Shout out to Bruce Brown. Without Kyrie out there on the court, he had to play pretty well, so he definitely did that for him. Raptors Bulls. DeRozan and Levine propel the Bulls to a 14-point win over the Raptors. Recently, the Bulls haven't really been playing that good of basketball, but now I'm pretty impressed with what they're doing, so it's pretty awesome. Looking at the losing side, though, 22 points for Pascal Siakam, 19 and 10 for Boucher. I think Precious Achiuwa was definitely on the lacking end. He's not as consistent as people would want him to be, but yeah. He was definitely on the lacking end. He could have done more. For the Bulls, though, 26 for DeMar, 19 and 13 for Vooch, and 26 for Levine. So, yeah, Bulls get a victory. We got 2 more games to talk about. Talk about the Wizards and the Rockets. Wood makes a career best 8 threes. He had one of the best nights. I probably should have talked about that as the Rockets down the Wizards, beat them by 18. Looking at the Wizards side of things, they didn't play too bad. I mean, 22 and 13 for Porzingis. That's about it. I mean, I guess Raul Nato could definitely be more productive on the offensive end. He had 10. He had 10 assists though. I don't know. I don't really know what they could have done more, but maybe KCP have a better game, not shoot 0 for 5 for 3. I don't even know what their problem is there. They didn't have Kuzma. That's definitely a discount. But 39 and 10 for Christian Wood. He definitely carried. He carried the Rockets that night. They're one of the best teams that have under 20 losses, and it's very surprising they have under 20 losses. They're actually a pretty solid team. You know, the Wizards aren't the best either, but they're not where the Rockets are in terms of standings. Let's go to Timberwolves and Mavs. Probably the closest game of the night. One of the better games. Bullock and Mavs hold on after a delay. Oh, rain delay. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I was actually watching the game. I might have tuned in a little too late to see that, but they beat the Timberwolves by 2. Um, Looking at the losing side, you know, you had 22 points from Cat. I think their big problem was Vanderbilt maybe not playing as well as he should. But that's about it. I mean, this was a pretty slow basketball game. For the Mavs, you had 22 for Dwight Powell. I don't know why we're talking about Reggie Bullock. I mean, Dwight Powell played amazing. He had 22. Luka only had 15 and 10, so they're kind of lucky to get a win there. They're lucky, you know, they had to have Dinwiddie off the bench putting up 20. But anyways, that's going to do it, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It's always been GZTV, giving you guys the best sports content. I'm about to go live for NXT Week 2 before my next class. I'm just going to get that out of the way. I got to do some homework as well. But, yeah. See you guys later. Lollapalooza lineup reactions and review maybe sometime this week. I'm not sure when I'm going to get that to you guys, but it's an interesting one. It's definitely a pretty decent list too.